What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another very fast meta update. My name is Joshua Joshi Howard, and let's go ahead and talk about what happened this last weekend. To start off, it was a very small weekend. We only had a very small number of players. There were not that many events. It was Easter weekend, so naturally, a lot of people, I imagine many of you, were home with your families. If you're anywhere in predominantly the Christian world, of course, but I know that there's like some stuff happening like next week for Orthodox Christians as well. So, anyway, before we get through all that, we did not have that many players this weekend overall. We had a 54.7% win rate over like 40 games, slightly more than 40. Not the most interesting thing overall. We also had a really high median elo because there were a decent number of pretty strong players relative to the overall field, relative to your average going out. So just keep that in mind. We had 6 Grizzled, 2 Recon, and 1 Hammer player in singles events this weekend. So again, 9 players playing like 40 something games. It is what it is. I only have 3 lists to show you, and they are all nearly identical, so let's go ahead and get right into it. To start off with, they are all Doombolt Guard, and the 3 lists I am about to show you are different by a maximum of 1 unit and maybe some more gear choices. There's really not a whole lot going on. If you want to know more about Doombolt, if you want to know more about how to play this archetype, I did make a video on that. Go ahead and take a look through the officer training schools. It came out like 2-3 weeks ago. At this point, it is a very strong archetype, and it is very popular. And there's like a couple of different ways to play it. The one that's been very popular over in Europe, especially people who are paying attention to what Gustavo is doing and what he's talking about, you'll get to see a lot of that. So to start off with, at oh crap! I was gonna look up how to say this. I think it is Nopetia Tactica. Um, I might be wrong. It is Finnish. Iraso Konen, one of the most common GT winners over in Finland, did get another GT win. It was a pretty small event, like 20, low 20s players, but he did get first overall. And Iro was playing Kating Castellan, Kating Command Squad, 3 San Command Squads, Nork Dedog, an Ogren Bodyguard, a Rogothorn Commander, 1 of 20 Cadians, 1 of 10 Krieg, 3 Chimeras, 3 Kazarkin, 3 units of 5 Krieg Engineers, 2 units of 5 Scions, and 1 unit of 10 Scions. And of course, if this is somehow your first time watching that update, the leap that you do have to make is recognizing that one of the Scion command squads with the 10 Scions are going to be starting on the board, either with the Nork Dedog or with an Ogren Bodyguard, where you just drop them there, and they are one of your kind of hammer pieces, right? You're going to be using your Dorn and the other Scion unit in order to shoot anything that gets too close while your Kazarkin Engineers and Chimeras are playing in your opponent's face. So they're really just there as a pretty big deterrent to jump out and kill just about anything. Eero ended up beating Blood Angels, Salamanders, Imperial Knights 100-16, one of the biggest wins you've ever really seen. Not super surprising. Knights really don't have a lot of play into Doombolt variants. A close win into Necrons, and then a win into Chaos Knights. So congratulations to Eero. Good to see that you are back on form. Moving over to Glasshammer teams, we have 2 lists from the same event this weekend. The first one piloted by Alex Fowler, going 4 wins and 1 draw. Kating Castellan, Kating Command Squad, 3 Sun Command Squads, Nork Dedog, and Ogren Bodyguard, a Rogothorn Commander, 1 unit of 20 Cadians, 2 units of 10 Krieg, 3 Chimeras, 3 Kazarkin, 2 units of 5 Krieg Engineers, 2 units of 5 Scions, and 1 unit of 10. Of course, if you're paying attention, the differences between these 2 lists is that Eero is playing 1 unit of 10 Krieg and a third unit of 5 Krieg Engineers, whereas Alex Fowler is playing 2 units of 10 Krieg and 2 units of 5 Krieg Engineers. So otherwise, nearly identical. Alex is one of the 6++ and Team England prospects. I don't know what his status is exactly, but I know he plays with the Team England group a lot. He gets a big win into GSC, a smaller win into Necrons, another big win into Necrons, another medium win into Ultramarines, and then a 10-10 into Chaos Knights. Now, I see this Chaos Knights. Um, I am very surprised by this result, but I do know that it is Nathan Roberts, who is a very, very strong player over in the UK. So just kind of keep that one in mind. I am surprised that it was a draw. I do not feel like Chaos Knights have a ton of play, but I am told that Nathan Roberts is just simply that good at the game that he can really beat up on other very, very strong, like other very strong players. He is just that kind of player. Moving on, we have the exact same list coming up from Harley Scully. I did, in fact, go to a different slide here. He is playing the exact same list, maybe a couple small war gear changes between the 2 of them. Another member of 6++ and Team England playing the exact same thing. Kating Castellan, Kating Command Squad, Scion, 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 Norik, Ogre Bodyguard, Growthorn Commander, Cadians, 2 units of 10 Krieg, 3 Chimeras, 3 units of Kazarkin, 2 units of 5 Krieg Engineers, 2 units of 5 Scions, and 1 unit of 10 Scions. Harley actually played several of the same opponents, so you will notice that the round 2 here for Alex Fowler, 13-7 into Necrons. The 13-7 that Harley got in round 3 was against the exact same player, Danny Evison, who we have seen play some interesting guard lists in the past. And then the Chaos Knights that Alex got a draw against, Harley got a 9 against. It was the same player, again, Nathan Roberts. And then the other 3 were different. So a 16, a decent sized win to CSM, a 20-0 into World Leaders, and a 14-6 into Custodes. So overall, between the two of them, getting 8 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. So Team England guard players doing very well this last weekend. And Iiro Sokkonen of Finland, again, playing the nearly an identical list over in Finland. So if you are playing anywhere in Europe that plays WTC or UKTC terrain, you should be very ready to play against this exact list. You should probably, honestly, I think the 10-foot Scions are pretty overrated. Um, I do play mostly Games Workshop terrain, but I have played them on WTC terrain. I do think that they are just worse than Adorn. However, there are lots of people who are having plenty of success with it. With that, 3 lists nearly identical. 2 in England, 1 in Finland. That was all we had. Everything else was not super exciting. We did not have a ton of players. Again, a very small weekend. But thank you so much for tuning in this time, and we will see you guys all next week. Bye bye.